Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and welcome back to Subnautica. This is episode 4. So now that we've got the Aurora fixed, we want to start checking out these beacons. And we've got our rebreather, so we can actually dive deep for a little longer. And we got another radio message.
Aurora, this is Sunbeam again. We just picked up a massive debris field at your location. I didn't know how many of you... I didn't know. We're now en route to your location. We're gonna bring you home. Sunbeam out. What else can I say? The only time I parked a rig this big on a rock that small was in VR. And I blew it. It's a bad option, all right, but so are all the others.
Alright, so I just want to make a few beacons before we head out. There isn't really anything we need to make at the moment. I don't even have enough copper for this. But I want to keep some beacons on me so we can start marking out base locations. Just in case I see any good ones. What is clunking on the bottom of this light bulb? I actually don't know. Oh, it's probably this paper. Alright, so do I have any copper left in here? No, just aluminum oxide and some water, which I need, so I'll take it with me. And I should probably clear some space in my inventory as well, since we are going to the island at some point. Don't need that fire extinguisher. Alright, let's see if I can find some... Gotta re-equip my Sea Glide. See if I can find some copper just around here. Just so I can make, like, another 2 beacons, I guess. No shortage of titanium. We are going to need a fair bit of titanium to make a base, and I'll probably have to harvest most of it on site, honestly. Because we don't really have any good way of carrying large amounts of titanium with us. I remember there was a point where you could actually break titanium ingots down back into the 10 pieces of titanium. And that would actually be really handy, because I could just bring some of that with me and break it down as I need it. But I believe they changed that a long time ago. Hey, buddy. I like how even when they're directly beside you, eventually they'll just give up. Be like, oh, I can't reach you, whatever.
30 seconds.
I'm also going to try not to drown as much, because obviously that's been a problem a few times. And once we get the base set up, I can pop down a modification station and make a bigger air tank, which will give us about another 100 oxygen almost, if I remember correctly. Looking for more limestone deposits here. Honestly, we're better off finding them here if I can just find a cave I haven't searched yet. And then try not to blow up. Copper. I guess that's enough copper. And this is a crash egg? I can't remember. I'm just gonna grab it. A bit more copper there. Alright, so we want to head into this beacon here, like pod 12. Because I believe that is close to where we want to be. Okay, let's make another beacon. And another beacon. And that should be enough for now, just in case I spot a couple places. Again, if we're picking from the Blood Kelp and the Grassy Plateau, both of which kind of are always next to each other, there's quite a few options because they are spread out all over the map. Alright, also I mentioned before, you can actually see where the island is. It's that patch of clouds directly in front of me, the one that's not moving with the rest of them. There's also that one over there, which hides the mountain island. They actually did this pretty much just so you couldn't find those islands just by, you know, looking at the horizon, because otherwise they would show up as easily as the Aurora.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Alright, so let's head out. And keep an eye out for any nice locations. I mean, this is a nice spot right here. What we're looking for is nice flat spots. Otherwise the bases look weird. Also, depth isn't really a big concern, but the deeper I build, the more support I'm going to need in the form of lithium. And we do have some lithium to start with, so it's not like I'm completely out. Also, I'd prefer not to build near reef backs because they're really loud, and you can always hear them when they're nearby. Same thing with wrecks. If there's any wrecks nearby, you'll constantly hear an electrical crackling sound. I actually think if we're in the sparse reef right now, there's quite a bit of lithium here as well. Oh, also, it turns out I'm not that screwed with the Cyclops thing, because I didn't even notice it, but we actually got a blueprint for the engine efficiency module when I picked it up, so I can just build another one. So it's just a pain in the ass that I lost it, but definitely not irreplaceable like it used to be. Okay, we're not going to be able to go with a full depth here, because you can see it says 300 meters.
Biodiversity in this region is unusually low. Cause unknown.
We should be able to park. Also, there's some stuff here, so let's see if we can find anything we don't have. What are these? Thermal plant, that's useful to have. Thermal plants provide a lot of power, though obviously the caveat there is you need a thermal vent to put them near. But since we have the power transmitter, I can just find a thermal vent anywhere nearby and then run a chain of those back to the base. Is that... That's a radio. We don't even need that because we start with a radio. Torpedo arm. I do have the prawn blueprint now, but I'm not going to worry too much about building one because we're not really going to have too much use for one. I guess we could use it for mining, but again, until we have a base, I don't really care that much about building a prawn. Any other blueprints just lying around? Moonpool fragment, we already have that. The nice thing about the sparse reef is that there's some decent resources and stuff here, but there is no predators in this area. What's down here? Supreme Darkness is down here. There's a lot of aluminum oxide, sorry, rubies, as well as some gel sacks. I think I just trapped myself in dark hell because I can't see the way out. Oh no. Okay. It's hard to tell. It's really fucking dark down here. I mean, I guess it is probably nighttime. Okay, so... now we're right on the edge. So let's check out this wreck. Park so that the spotlight is covering it. That's not functional door. There's a hole in the side though, and a cuttable section. Power cell charger. I don't think I have one of these yet. We have the battery charger. Okay. So if I can find another one of those, that would be handy. Light stick. I don't really know what a good use for the light stick is. I mean, I guess it would be good for dark places like this, or exploring caves.
Near blueprint acquired.
Mod station, I believe we already have that. Disinfected water. Equip the laser cutter. And we should have enough air to cut this open. Again, having the rebreather means I don't really have to worry nearly as much as I did before, because their oxygen is ticking down at a slow rate. data box, a power cell charger fragment, so that'll give us that.
New blueprint acquired.
I mean, we're doing pretty good on power. The Seamoth is still running on its original battery. Ooh.
New blueprint acquired.
That is a very nice thing to have, because that not only reduces damage, but also makes us resistant to heat. So we don't have to worry about cooking, which will actually come in handy when I'm trying to build the thermal power plant.
30
So what do we got
seconds.
over here? Another data box. Vehicle upgrade console.
New blueprint acquired.
That's very important, and since we have the moon pool, we can make full use of that as soon as we build one. Alright, so I think we've cleaned that piece of wreck out. What about this one? Is there more down here? This is like a treasure trove. And again, I've seen people who are playing this for the first time, and they say that the game really doesn't tell you where to go. But I mean, the whole point of the beacons is to guide you to these various biomes and important kind of areas. Like, by looking for this one over here, you're going to find this wreck here, and probably search it. So I feel like the beacons are pretty well spread out to kind of guide you around without just straight up telling you. Because all of the major progression points for the story and the technology have beacons associated with them. You just have to wait long enough for the message to come through on your radio. The only downside is the radio is on a delay, so anytime we get a message, even if there's other messages that have already queued, we can't get them until later. We got another one of these.
New blueprint acquired.
I'm not 100% certain because these were added pretty late into the development, but I believe these things always give you one of the blueprints they contain that you don't have. Like, I don't think you can ever get something useless from those until you've got everything. Moonpool fragments, alright. Would have been a lot easier to get them here than to search the mushroom forest. Alright, so that life pod is pretty deep down there, so we're gonna have to dip down pretty quick.
Keen, this is Aurora. Come in. This is Keen. Life pod detached to OK planet fall in 30 seconds. The computer has identified a landmass at the attached coordinates. I want you to regroup the crew there. Understood, but they are your responsibility now. Don't let them down. Captain, you need to evacuate. Negative. You'll need the ship in one piece if you're going to contact HQ on the long range. I'm attempting a controlled descent. Captain!
Signal location uploaded to PDA.
So, as a nice little extra detail there, the captain is the reason that the Aurora crashed so close to where we landed.
New blueprint acquired.
So that gave us the the beacon for the rendezvous point, which is the island. I believe this is actually, yeah, this is Grand Reef. There used to be just like a flat spot directly under the island, but it looks like they expanded the Grand Reef under there. And the Sea Treader's Path is also near here. Might try to find that before we head out. Alright, so dry land.
We have to board the Aurora, repair the long-range comms, Make contact with the other survivors. We can't be the only two that made it.
Those are not the orders the captain gave me, and they are not the orders I'm giving you.
This isn't chain of command, it's survival.
My obligations as acting commander don't turn on their convenience. Get out of the water.
If I get into trouble, I'll send you my coordinates.
I can't let you go alone.
Then come with me.
You don't leave me much choice.
Received emergency transmission from Second Officer Keen, 2 hours after last activity.
Rendezvous was a failure. Intercepted a transmission from Altera HQ. Seems they sent a data package to the Aurora. We were intercepted by a Leviathan-class predator before we could reach the ship. Consider the CTO and I lost at sea. Be safe. Keen, out.
Picking up multiple energy signatures on the island's surface.
Alright, so we're gonna harvest some trees while we're here. We can drink these bulbo trees. But the main reason is actually because we want a seed, so we can keep these for later. Alright, so there's a few things to find on this island. There's a lot of flora here we could take with us, but a lot of it doesn't actually serve a purpose, it's just for decorating your base. I wish you could grow one of these things, though. These, like, light trees. Also, you can hear a lot of animals on this island, but the only ones you can actually see are these crawlers. Oh, shit. You can also see those sort of bird-like creatures. Alright, I think the first thing we're looking for is around here. You can see another one up there. After all, the Aurora was not the first ship to crash land on this planet. Actually, just leave some titanium here, because we need space for these seeds. And this exterior grow bed.
New blueprint acquired.
Alright, we have one of each of the useful crops. Now we're also going to want this. We'll drop another titanium. Titanium, not something we're ever going to run short of. But the key thing here is to scan this room that I'm standing on top of. And inside of. Because that is our primary room for our base.
Blueprint acquired.
And now that we have that, we can make more of these if we need to.
Integrating new PDA data.
Now, I won't play the voice logs until I've got them all, because you kind of find them out of order.
New blueprint acquired.
So this gives us pretty much all of the basics we need for a proper base.
New blueprint acquired.
I saw something... Oh, right, it's in here. It's a wall planter.
New blueprint acquired. Integrating new PDA data.
Because there's quite a few of these voice logs. You little. These guys kind of aren't even worth killing for how much effort it takes to hit them usually. Alright, so in addition to this base, there are actually 2 more on this island. Both on the peaks across from each other. I'm not sure why they built a base up there. I guess so it was easy to get the lay of the land, even though there really isn't any other land around. I also wish there was maybe something you could do with those bird fellas. Alright, so we've got a few more useful things up here. Some little plant pots.
New blueprint acquired.
The observatory. The observatory doesn't really have any practical use, but it is nice looking. It has much clearer glass than the other kind of windows you can build.
New blueprint acquired. Integrating new PDA data.
This island is a godsend. Look out of the window. No predators. Fresh food.
No building materials, nothing left of the ship, and your kid says we're gonna starve without more grow beds. Speak up, kid.
It's true, Father. The natural growth rates are too slow to keep supporting us.
All I'm saying is ocean's got us surrounded. No use hiding. Sooner or later, we'll get our feet wet.
The rest of your life may have been a fight, Maida, but I've made my decision. You want to forfeit your emergency pay to take a swim? Go ahead.
Believe me, I'm thinking on it.
So there were only 3 survivors of the Degassi crash, and that is all 3 of them there. The 2 Torgals and their security officer.
Integrating new PDA data.
And Bart is the one that actually all of his voice lines were used in the cinematic trailer for the game.
Son, I said wait for the storm to pass. Your life's more valuable to me than a plant patch.
You stopped being in charge when the ship you were captaining sunk.
I'll stop being in charge when you take charge of yourself.
Say, Chief. Chief,
What?
do you know how to drain those grow beds of 40 tons of stormwater? Or how to conjure food from the air?
I know how to prioritize.
I'm just saying, if that's so, what's your boy's life worth to you today? If tomorrow you're gonna be so hungry you start wondering what he tastes like, let him go deal with the plants.
Son, go deal with the plants.
Bard, Torgal has disembarked the habitat.
Interfere with my family again, and when rescue arrives, I will leave you here. Do you understand me?
No rescue coming, Chief. Not in time. And no staying here neither. This rain keeps falling, sooner or later this place will be buried. Only choice we got is whether to get buried with it.
Funny that they were driven off by rain, considering there's no weather in this game.
Acquired.
Alright, so I think that's all the Degassi voice logs we're going to find up here. There are more. They are not here.
What is that thing?
I don't know. I found it outside in the sand.
Part of another ship?
None I've ever seen.
It's not even scratched.
Don't fool around with it. It might be worth something.
Stand down, Chief. If it were gonna crumble to dust, it would have done so when I picked it up.
It's glowing.
We're not the first people to come to this point.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
People. Maybe. Could be aliens. Could be the damn sea monsters for all we know. One thing for sure, we ain't gonna find out by staying here.
And that was about the tablet that we found.
Chief's log, 5 weeks since the crash. The only other survivors are my son, Bart, and Maida, the cut-price mercenary I commissioned for the journey. After days drifting in the life pod, rain hammering on the roof, the weather cleared and we washed up here. I had Maida salvage the Degazi wreck, set Bart to finding us a stable source of food. His education is paying off sooner than I'd anticipated. Our only problem is Maida. She says the weather's going to turn. I say she's finding excuses to risk our lives. I imagine she's not gonna weaken her life without a physical altercation, and she's itching for a fight. In every judgment she makes, things go from bad to worse. If she had my experience, she'd have more faith. Humans have spent millennia specializing in how to shackle nature to our will. This planet won't cause us any new problems. My one task now
Maximum depth
is
reached.
to keep us
Hull
alive
damage imminent.
as comfortably as possible until the insurance company arranges rescue. In this part of space, that could be months, or even years.
So I'm actually just looking around to see if I can spot any sea treaders around here. I don't think we can go deep enough to really see the sea treader's path, though. Unless this is it right here.
Life on the seafloor suggests this may be the migration path of a huge, bottom-dwelling life form.
And that's a bit of Cyclops. I think we already have the hull complete. Nope, guess not. Alright, so this is part of the sea treader's path. You can tell because it's all beaten down to sand, which you don't normally see at this depth. Where are the anonymous creatures? I'm a little afraid to go too far here because the sea treader's path runs right along the edge of the dead zone, the place that used to be called the Abyss, and there are some nasty fellas in there. Nasty fellas. Quite a few warpers around here. Like, wow. There's like 3 or 4 of them. Now, where am I? Because if I'm where I think I am, I don't want to surface too quickly. A lot of Cyclops bits here.
New blueprint acquired.
Alright, so start heading back to the life pod. Well, actually, I suppose we should be looking for a base location now.
Warning, maximum depth reached. Hull damage imminent.
Okay, that's blood kelp down there. I'm gonna have to get out and repair the sea moth because it's not looking so hot. What is that over there? Is that an underwater island? Or is that just a reef back? That's just a reef back, he's just moving really slow. And I don't know if you heard it there, but there's a Reaper nearby. So of course I'm going to get out of my sub and open my inventory. That's not very far away either. I think I know where we are. Alright. Well, as long as I don't go too quickly, I shouldn't be surprised by the Reaper if he's around here. I think he's off to our left. Again, it would help if I surfaced, because I can't see shit. Okay, never mind. We are entirely somewhere else than where I thought we were, which is a bit relieving. That's the Deep Grand down there. This actually wouldn't be a terrible place to set up base. If there wasn't so many bloody reefbacks around here. I mean, they're nice and all, they're just really loud. Back at this wreck. Now, I don't want to build in the actual grass because it will clip through the bottom of the base for the most part. But like this spot right here actually doesn't seem like a bad spot. Like right along this little straightaway. Oh, what's over here? If I can get it kind of near the edge where it's facing on another biome. I'm actually curious where that Reaper I'm hearing is. Is that him directly in front of me? No, that's... I guess this is the dunes here. Oh, that's a reefback over there. So, this is the dunes. There is a Reaper, very close. However, I believe there's actually something over here of value.
Warning, maximum depth reached. Hull damage imminent.
I can't really go deep enough to make use of that, though. There is a wreck in the dunes with some handy stuff in it. Well, I definitely don't want to build right at the edge of this shelf. It's too bad, that's actually a nice spot right there. Right overlooking where he's hanging out. Oh, he's already way out there. They move around quite a bit. How close do you think I can get without getting in trouble? One thing with Reapers is they do not stick to their zones. He will follow you right across the map.
Life forms in the region. Are you certain whatever you're doing is worth it?
I think we'll come back. I'm really tempted to just go up and boop him. But I'd rather not have to build another Seamaw. Okay, so this is the... yeah, that's the Reaper that's always at the edge of the main mushroom zone. There is actually two mushroom zones, something I forgot in the last episode, so I was a little confused why I couldn't find anything. But yeah, this is the main mushroom zone, and there's a tiny one next to the Aurora. It would be kind of difficult to ever build a base here, unless you maybe build on top of the mushrooms, because obviously there's not a lot of clear space on the ground. Something I was looking for, however, is there is another wreck around here. Actually, that might be a nice spot right there. A little plateau. Anything right there? Power transmitter, we already have one of those. I'm not sure there'll be anything new here, but we can always look. Power cell charger. There might be some prawn parts in here. Power cell charger. That's just a dead end, right? Can't get through here. I don't see anything. What about through here? Kind of squeeze through. This looks like a repairable door, but I guess it's not. So let's see if there's another entrance on the outside. Or let's just get stuck.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
No, it doesn't look like there's another one, as far as I can tell. There might be a vent or something. Not that it really matters. Again, I don't think there's anything too useful in here that we don't already have. I do see an openable door, though. Yeah, I guess I can get in through here.
The way I see it, no one's to blame here.
He gave me the wrong coordinates.
She didn't give me clear instruction. Okay, I'll rephrase. You've been equally incompetent. Now, we've lost time, but we're closer to the planet. So if the Degassi's out there, the scans should pick it up.
Why are we even helping the Mongolians? They're the competition.
Enjoy your shore leave on Sanjay Station? Like having fuel in the tanks? Thank the Mongolians. We run the scans, we show them we didn't find anything, and we say thanks for the free dinner. Clear? Sir, there's something odd on the surface scan here. Turn that recorder off.
New blueprint acquired.
So I guess they did actually get close enough to the planet to scan it, which is probably why they got shot down.
New blueprint
Because
acquired.
otherwise, they weren't actually out here to explore any planets, they were just out here to build the phase gate. And we got another Cyclops module. Let's see, where was that spot I can get in? It's like through here? No? How is it I had no trouble with this and now I can't find the damn spot again? Through here. Okay, switch back to the laser cutter. So it's always worth searching these wrecks just in case they have maybe one blueprint you missed or a data box, which always has handy stuff in it. Cyclops bridge fragment. I don't think I have one of these. I guess I do. Oh, another data box. Ah, that one's no good. So I guess we've already collected quite a few of them. There's another door here, but not an openable one. It looks like an openable one. If it's blocked like that, you can't actually open it. Fluid intake. Do I have any more water left on me? I don't. So we're gonna have to head back to base anyway. So this is a nice little flat spot here. Just want to see what the borders are looking like. Okay. There's another little better wreck here.
Vital signs stabilizing.
See what I mean about how loud reefbacks are? There's the battery. And that's a dead end there. Is there actually anything in this room of value at all? No? Just a chair blueprint? Just leads back out. Alright. So what is this shelf area up here? I believe this is the floating islands down over here. Yep. I sort of ran him over, but he still got a hit on me. You're a big fella, ain't you? I'm trying to find a nice spot that kind of borders on the kelp and the grassy plateau. Maybe like somewhere kind of like over here. Probably squeeze one right along this strip. So I'll just leave that there as a marker. I mean, this area does look really nice. And stalkers can be a nuisance, but they won't really, like, attack your base I mean, they can't attack your base, but they won't try to murder you every time you come out of the door. I wonder why that other beacon didn't disappear. Life pod 12. Because we already went down there. I don't think I would ever build a base in the safe shallows because they're kind of boring and a little too close to the surface to really be useful. But I'm actually going to mark another spot over here. Actually, this is a spot down here. A snug little cave base. Oh, I didn't actually mean to do that. Number 2, and then I'll go and there's one more spot that I would propose. So I'm gonna head over there, drop a beacon, and then y'all can basically say which one you think is best, 1, 2, or 3. Now, that's not gonna be like the only base I'll build. I think once we get to the deeper area of the game, I'll build a forward observation base. But for now, it's mostly just a place to store all the stuff I need. Check where I am. No, that doesn't help. It's really fucking dark. Okay. So there's the engine, which means I'm close to where I want to be. That's the crag field, so I need to follow the wall along here for a bit. I mean, being near the crag field isn't exactly the worst thing because it's a nice big resource dump. So this is the Grand Reef down there. So I'm thinking somewhere along here there's a nice flat spot. At least I thought there was. I must have passed it. Now we don't want to go too deep though, because I would like to be able to put solar panels down pretty easily, and they are less efficient the deeper you are. So yeah, somewhere like right along here, right on the border between the two, with the drop right there. You can see there's that nice divide between the two. Drop my last beacon here. Oops. And you can decide which of those looks the most appealing. I'm just gonna head back to the life pod, and next time we will hopefully have a base picked out. But until then, I've been Shadefyre, this is Subnautica, and I'm having fun. I know I kind of say it every episode, but it's just a game I enjoy being able to talk about in length and not just in short bursts like I did with the What's updates. Anyhow, take care, folks.